Let's talk about Fanime. It's exactly what it sounds like, fan-made anime, or fake anime depending on who you ask. They're short series of anime-inspired episodes usually put together by one person with a budget of $0 and the voice acting of their friends. Or if they're fancy, they might have looked for volunteers on Casting Call Club. For this video's purposes, I'm going to discuss Fanime on YouTube, though there are absolutely Fanime on other video sharing sites such as Newgrounds, Dailymotion, Bilibili, Weibo, and Nico Nico Doga. The concept of Fanime certainly predates YouTube and isn't exclusive to it, but YouTube is where the majority of self-identified Fanime series have been uploaded and continue to be uploaded. Let's get started. It's difficult to pinpoint exactly when the term Fanime, used to specifically refer to an animated web series, first emerged on the internet. Some sources say that the first Fanime uploaded to YouTube was Tokyo Crystal Mew on November 14, 2006, though it's possible that there may have been a Fanime uploaded before then that I am unaware of or has been lost to time. We know that the term Fanime has been used to refer to an anime-inspired web series since at least 2007 from this Urban Dictionary definition, but I'm hard-pressed to find explicit mentions of Fanime in this context from before then. I also am relatively new to the Fanime genre, having only become familiar with it in 2016. If anyone is able to provide evidence for the term Fanime in reference to fan-made animated series from an older date, please let me know. As far as I know, there isn't a more precise definition for Fanime beyond meaning an anime-inspired animated web series. It has no entries in official dictionaries, but according to the top entry for it in Urban Dictionary, Fanime is short for fan-made anime. It's made by hand or mouse by someone who isn't professional. They usually put together the art and copyrighted music into one Fanime. The most popular Fanime genre is Magical Girls. I would personally define Fanime by saying that it refers to a non-professional anime-inspired animated web series that is produced by a single person or a small group. I add this because Fanime is seldom made by professional animators or studios, rather they tend to be hobby passion projects. I should also note that while there are many existing web series that technically fit the definition of Fanime, only a small portion of those explicitly identify themselves as Fanime. For instance, a series like Punch Punch Forever could otherwise reasonably fit the criteria to be considered a Fanime, but as far as I'm aware, nowhere is Fanime mentioned in the title, video description, or any other mention by the creator. The term Fanime has never really caught on as being the default term to refer to anime-inspired web series. This being the case, I would argue that the term Fanime is intrinsically linked to the Fanime community, who deliberately chooses to identify its works as such. That is to say, Fanime has its own identity as a tight-knit community separate from the vast genre of anime-inspired internet web series. If you watch a lot of Fanime, you'll tend to see the same usernames appear in the credits of a lot of different series, whether as voice actors, assistant animators, or artists. This is why I wouldn't be quick to say that something like the SpongeBob anime counts as Fanime. It checks all the boxes of the genre, sure, but does not engage itself with the Fanime community in any way. Something like Nyan Neko Sugar Girls, on the other hand, is widely recognized as a defining work in the Fanime genre, and many creators in the Fanime community have made references to it in their own series or made series inspired by it. The line between Fanime and anime-inspired web series is blurry and unclear, but if I were to make any distinction between them, it would have to lie in the connotation of community that the word Fanime carries with it. While on the topic of the word Fanime itself, I thought it would be interesting to discuss close equivalents to Fanime in the country most famous for the style Fanime is inspired by. In the Japanese-speaking world, a similar term to Fanime would be doujin anime, which roughly translates to fan anime. It carries very similar nuances as Fanime, as doujin anime can be based off of existing works or be their own original works. Unlike Fanime, doujin anime are sometimes created by quite large doujin circles, and are often sold at real-life events for anime fans such as Comiket. Usually, doujin anime are based off of existing anime series and video games. For instance, the Bullet Hell series Touhou is an extremely popular series to adapt, probably due to its creator Zun's lenience with fan adaptations of the series. When I speak about Japanese doujin anime, I'm pretty much obligated by law to mention the Touhou Fantasy Kaleidoscope series, which was produced between 2011 and 2023 by the Manpuku Jinja Doujin Circle. If the Fantasy Kaleidoscope series is to be counted as Fanime, it is without a doubt one of the most popular out there. Its first episode has garnered more than 3 million views on its primary channel and millions more through re-uploads from other channels. I am not familiar to the Touhou series, so I cannot personally speak to the quality of its story, but according to the Touhou fandom wiki, reception of the series among the fandom has been very polarized, with many criticizing its use of fan service, mischaracterization of some characters, and the pacing of some of the episodes. The animation and sound design of the series is extremely impressive. Even though I was thoroughly confused watching it, the beautiful backgrounds, buttery smooth animations, and melodic opening songs made it a treat to watch. Another notable Toho doujin anime is Muso Kakyo, A Summer's Day Dream. It was produced by Maikaze, a small doujin group consisting primarily of Tokine, who directs, storyboards, colors, and draws the animation. There have been 3 episodes, or technically 4 if you count episode 2.5, released at different Comikets over the years. I wasn't able to find the episodes on YouTube, but I was able to find them uploaded to the Internet Archive. The creator also has DVDs of the episodes in better quality on their booth shop. There are a lot more doujin anime that are absolutely not safe to talk about on YouTube, so I'll be moving on to another term in Japanese that is used in a similar way to fanime. This term is Jishu Seisaku anime, meaning independently produced animation. Similar to fanime, these productions tend to be made by an individual or very small group and tend to be pretty short. Most Jishu Seisaku anime are one-shot productions, as opposed to fanime, which tend to be comprised of multiple episodes, though this is not always the case. Additionally, Jishu Seisaku anime are almost exclusively original works. In short, these are the terms in Japanese that are similar to how fanime is used in the West. Doujin anime are roughly equivalent to fan anime, though doujin doesn't really have an English parallel. They're usually based off of existing works, but not always. They're often developed for distribution at market events like Comiket as DVDs. They can be produced by quite large groups, and there are lots of not-safe-for-work series. Jishu Seisaku anime, meaning independently produced animation, are usually original works. They're mostly one-shots, but some are series. They're typically developed by a single creator or a very small team. Confusing? Yeah, maybe. I'm not familiar with any other words carrying a similar connotation as the word fanime in other languages, but they undoubtedly exist. If anyone is knowledgeable about a similar term to fanime in a language they know, by all means share it in the comments. I'm curious. The types of genres that are common among fanime works differ from those that are common among anime made by professional studios. While both have works in a vast variety of different genres, the genres that are most popular are different. In my observation, there are 2 fanime genres that stand out, magical girl and parody, though I will of course be covering fanime of other genres as well. In this next sequence, I will be talking about famous fanime in the magical girl genre and in the parody genre. Tokyo Magic Star is a 2012 series by Kawaii Weiji, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, about a 15-year-old girl named Sakura and her friend Umi, who auditioned to be an idol for Misaki Entertainment Company. To Sakura's surprise, she actually is accepted. One night, the girls are ambushed, but then are saved by Ichigo, a magical girl. It turns out that Ichigo is actually the 3rd member of their idol group, Mahoshi, and Sakura and Umi are also magical girls. Why? According to its fandom page, they have been chosen as sacrifices to Satan, due to their purity. If the girls don't fight back as magical girls, they'll die. Tokyo Magic Star starts off pretty lighthearted and gets significantly darker as it goes on. The animation quality also drastically improves as the series goes on, and the voice acting is really impressive at certain moments. There may be a season 2, but in 2022, the creator announced that the series is on an indefinite hiatus. Magical Girl School is a 2014 series created by Shribit about 6 students at Akayama High School who learn that they have magical powers and the opportunity to become professional magical girls. With the help of the school coach, nurse, and headmaster, they train to improve their physical and magical skills, but learn quickly that being a magical girl is a lot heavier of an undertaking than they thought. Add in that when they're in their magical form, their real-life identities are concealed, and tensions rise between the students as they struggle to balance their magical girl lives with their normal lives. Being one of the longer fanime out there, with 13 episodes, you have ample time to get to know each of the characters and really care for them by the end of the series. Yin Yang is a 2010 fanime by Anime Strawberry Kitty. Hiyoko is a social outcast at her school, with nobody to call her friend except one girl named Midori. One day, oddly late in the school year, mysterious twins Hikaru and Kuro Tsubasa transfer to her school. The twins immediately take an interest in Chiyoko, sitting next to her in class, eating lunch with her, talking to her after school, and even staying the night at her house after finding that the apartment address they're supposed to be living at is the exact same address as hers. As it turns out, the twins' purpose is to protect Chiyoko from demons who want her magical powers. She was born half demon, half angel, and a very powerful one at that. She just needs to learn how to use her power. The art style reminds me a lot of old visual novels like Kanon and Clannad, with big, wide-set, sparkling eyes and detailed, shining hair. I find it looks very nice, especially in later episodes. The episodes are very quiet and slow-paced, with a heavy use of piano music. However, there are a lot of audio issues that make it hard to hear the characters' voices over the music, not helped by Chiyoko's very quiet and muffled voice. Seeing as the creator has removed all episodes of Yin Yang from their channel, it looks like we won't be seeing any new episodes anytime soon. Nonetheless, Yin Yang is an influential series remembered fondly by many longtime members of the fanime community. Parody fanime are known for exaggerating stereotypical anime tropes. By volume, this is probably the most common fanime genre. Notable works in this genre include Nyan Neko Sugar Girls, Sugoi Quest for Kokoro, and Senpai Club. Nyan Neko Sugar Girls has already been discussed in depth by many other YouTubers, so I will keep this brief. Nyan Neko Sugar Girls is a fanime by Soap Opera 46 that was first uploaded in 2010. It is about the lives of Raku-chan, Koneko-chan, and Hitoshi-kun. The entire series is crudely drawn in MS Paint, whose characters embellish their speech with Japanese words like nya, desu, sugoi, and kawaii like every 5 seconds. It is truly something to behold. It's also one of the few fanimes to be dubbed in multiple languages. In 2022, Nyan Neko Sugar Girls received a Japanese dub by Franklin Project, and it is beautiful.
Hamburger sandwich to Diet Coca-Cola.
Nyan Neko Sugar Girls is thought to be the godfather of parody fanime due to its explosive popularity. It has truly breached containment of the niche fanime subgenre and gained coverage by popular YouTubers. Countless fanime inspired by Nyan Neko Sugar Girls have been made, including Sugoi Quest for Kokoro is a 2014 4-episode series by Death420. It is loosely based on Homestuck and centers around Sakura Katana-chan as she goes to school with her friend, Terezi-chan, tries to attract the attention of her crush Karkat-kun, and fights against the school bully, Vriska-chan. The main character Sakura-chan is an asshole who would probably push a stranger in front of a train for a chance to talk to Karkat-kun, which is a fun subversion of the Mary Sue main character trope. I personally think this fanime is absolutely hilarious, and me and my friends have rewatched it an ungodly amount of times. Also, apparently a second season is in production. Senpai Club is a 2014 fanime from Make Babies about the school life of Tsumiki, a cute schoolgirl who finds herself accidentally joining the Senpai Club, a club with a colorful cast of bishonen and bishoujo. Senpai Club really impressively mirrors the pacing and composition style of real anime, complete with an original opening song, previews of future episodes, flashbacks, and such good lighting effects. Later on, it switches to an 80s anime style with hand-painted backgrounds and editing to make it look like cells were scanned on top. It's a really nice touch. Even though it's a joke anime, Senpai Club ends up being very charming. Also, Bullcut Senpai is clearly the best character. I also wanted to use this video as an opportunity to highlight some fanime series I recommend and I think deserve more recognition. Demo Strike is a comedy fanime created by Natalie, Lily, and Emma about a group of high schoolers trying to start a bowling team. The problem is that they kind of suck, and basically their only hope is the mythical Bull Bullington, a man who is really good at bowling and nothing else. On a shoestring budget, they attempt to keep their club afloat. This fanime is super goofy and made me yell laugh like multiple times throughout its 2 episodes. It throws a lot of jokes at you in a short amount of time. If you're extremely online, which is basically a prerequisite for being a fanime fan, you'll get a big kick out of it. Demo Strike is ongoing, and I will definitely be keeping up with it. Mellorism is a fanime made by Majimel based on the events of the Fanime Tavern Guild in the MMORPG Torum Online, the members of the guild being creators and fans in the fanime community. It has a unique visual novel style to it, and all the backgrounds are from Torum Online itself. Mellorism stars sisters Saryu and Mello as they try forming a guild, gaining members, and fulfilling quests in the MMORPG. But things aren't so easy, and sometimes tempers flare between the members when things don't go well. This series has very impressive art and some of the best character designs I've seen in fanime. Also, I love Mello's hair. It's so cute and it looks like she has cinnamon rolls on her head. Though it started out as a weekly series, Mellorism started to come out more slowly, presumably to improve the art quality and increase runtime per episode. I was especially impressed with episode 7. The atmosphere and coloring is so nice to look at and sets the tone for the episode's contents beautifully. I'm excited to see where the series goes. Existential Chris is a fanime made by Zuzko for the weekly fanime challenge. It's about a guy named Chris who has a pretty boring life. This all changes when he disobeys his grandpa and opens an old mysterious book called the Book of Oddity, which was found lying under a pile of other books in his house. Upon opening the book, an alien bursts into his house and initially tries to kill him. After a little conversation, she insists on staying with Chris until she figures out the effects of the mysterious Book of Oddity. Later on, they activate a robot hidden in their school, and suddenly they're all living together. Now Chris tries to make it through his school with a lot more abnormality in his life. This fanime is short and sweet, with a lot of fun characters and pretty cool opening and ending sequences. And finally, you should watch Weeb's Guide to I I think fanime is a fascinating and often overlooked genre of web series. It's through creating these passion project series that many artists, including myself, have gotten their first experience with producing animated works. Watching fanime often elicits an entirely different feeling than watching anime produced by professional studios. Professional anime studios are often constrained to tried and true concepts that can guarantee them the most viewers, leading to an overload of the same storylines, the same character designs, the same visual style every season. While a series may have satisfactory animation, voice acting, and sound design, it can often still end up being shallow and forgettable. Fanime creators, on the other hand, have more or less full creative reign and can put whatever they want into their series, for better or for worse. And I think that's a great thing. One might assume that fanime is a genre of the past that's on its way out, but that's not true. New series are coming out every week, and there are even channels dedicated to sharing new releases. So yeah, I think more people should give fanime a try. Not only is it fun, but it's a fascinating look into anime fan culture over the decades, and there's something deeply inspiring about seeing the wealth of series created out of passion by individual anime fans all over the world. Fanime may not have much budget or resources, but they do have a lot of heart. You may even end up being inspired to make something yourself. I'll end this video by listing some channels, playlists, and websites you can check out if you're interested in exploring the thousands of fanime series that have been uploaded throughout the years. This channel has the biggest collection of fanime I have ever seen. If you're looking for a new series to watch, I definitely recommend looking through their playlists, which as of November 2023 are still being updated. Fanime Station is a relatively new channel started in early 2022, dedicated to showcasing new fanime episodes that released each month. While there exists a TV tropes page and fandom page for fanime, this NeoCities page was recently started by Chibi Gissi, a longtime member of the fanime community, to document the many different fanime series out there, especially newer ones that may be missing from other sources. It's not very big yet, but it's active and expanding in scope. I'll put links to all of these in the description for you to check out. I hope you enjoyed this video and my very basic video editing skills, and thanks for watching.